Here at Performance Pickleball RVA, it is the first ever TowneBank College Cup. Jon Laaser, Joe Hutzler. Joe, we brought this format into this facility for the first time. It's a match made in heaven. We had 30 teams from 11 different schools. It has been amazing since 10 a.m. We've now reached the semifinal round. I'm going to get to the dream matchup that we've got for you in about 2 minutes in a second, but just the overall day has been sensational.
Yeah, it has been sensational. It's been great that these college students have been able to take some time, get up a little bit later than a normal tournament day, which I'm sure they're happy about. I've even seen some do their homework today and find time for that. So very studious group of people we've got today, and very talented set of the future, if you will, of pickleball, especially some of these schools we're going to see here today in the state of Virginia. We're probably going to see them in the Super Regional in just a few short weeks for the Duper Super Regionals. Very excited to show people today on the live broadcast what we've witnessed all day, which has been high-level pickleball.
It really has been. I think it's blown the mind of spectators. And speaking of this format, one of the really cool aspects is there's a lot of spectators because there's a lot of friends and family. These teams, of course, stay, cheer each other on. And we got a Final Four here for this early evening that is just absolutely what you would have hoped for in terms of the cream of the crop. Starting with our semifinals, you're looking at Virginia right there. We've got the Commonwealth Clash within the TowneBank College Cup because it's the Hokies and Who's, baby. Let's ride.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to write something up and have a script for this, I think everybody would have this as, maybe they would have it as the final, but either way, you want to see these two schools represented here at the end of the day. Very excited to see what these ladies, who we'll start with, the women's doubles, what they can do for us here on the live stream, and really see if that actual Who's versus Hokies, transcends to the club sports world beyond the NCAA world.
Yeah, absolutely. You're watching the ladies warm up. We'll have the women's doubles match first in this MLP-style matchup and format that we're following today. Much more on that in just a second. But the semifinals will be run in tandem. In the other semifinal, you've got the overall top seed. That is North Carolina, Team 1. They are taking on Clemson. Traveled all the way up here to represent Clemson and the ACC. They've played fantastic pickleball. So 1 versus 4 over on court 1. We've got 2 versus 3. Taking a peek there, as you can see, at the pre-match meeting between the Heels and the Tigers. But we've got Hokies and Who's. We've also got Ben Davis, of course. He's our head referee. He's going through the rules. And, Joe, while he does that for the players, why don't you do that for the viewers? This is quite a bit different format than generally when we've brought you pickleball on this channel before.
Yeah, definitely. This, as you mentioned, is more of the MLP, Major League Pickleball format. So we're going to go single elimination here for the bracket. We've already gone through the quarterfinals to get to these final 4 teams with a chance to go directly to the National Collegiate Championships. That's what's on the line here today, an automatic bid. So here's what we've got. Women's doubles will be first, then men's doubles, and then they will choose their mixed partners for the potential of 2 more games after that. It is the first to 21, win by 2, rally scoring. So our broadcasts this year have been very traditional pickleball, first to 11 or even all the way to 15, but in that traditional scoring format, this will be different. There will be points scored after each ball hits, out of bounds or hits the net. There will be points. So it does actually seem like today, from my perspective, things have gone a little bit faster, which means you got to pay attention. You can't lag and be like, I can miss a few things. No, every point really matters. Every rally really matters because there is something given each time around. And I will mention there is a freeze at 20. If you get to 20, you have to win on your serve. You can no longer win returning the ball. So even if you are the losing team in that moment with your opponent at 20, you still have a chance to get back in it.
And there also is the Dream Breaker in play. So if the first 4 matches or games, however you want to describe them, end in a 2-2 draw, we are playing the Dream Breaker. We did not play it in pool play to arrive at the seeded quarterfinals, but we are playing it, Joe. And for those that are familiar with MLP style or collegiate style pickleball, as it were, it is fast and furious. It's a heck of a lot of fun. We narrowly missed having one in the semifinal round as Maryland got edged in that matchup by Virginia. But the potential exists, and we think this match that we're about to peek in on between Virginia Tech and UVA, and also potentially in the championship,
Yeah, no question. You would see, if you look at the results throughout the day, these two teams very even in their overall winnings this afternoon. For those that are interested, the home team technically being the 2 seed, Virginia Tech, and UVA being the 3 seed. That might be an issue or something that's important when it comes down to the Dream Breaker, because the mixed advantage, when you get to the mixed side, of course, the teams have to choose who's going to be in their mixed lineup. We don't know who those are going to be yet. The home team has the mixed advantage. So the away team, UVA, would choose their mixed partners first in that third game. But if you get to a Dream Breaker, the away team has the advantage. So keep that in mind.
All right, we are set. Women's doubles to get us started here in semifinal number 2. It is the 2-seeded Hokies of Virginia Tech against the number 3-seeded Wahoos Cavaliers of Virginia. And over on Sketcher Stadium Court 1, it's the top seed North Carolina as they take on the 4-seed Clemson. Let's meet the competitors here in this women's semifinal that we are keeping an eye on. In the orange there, as you're looking at it left to right, that's Nilium Gaze and Julia Hoffman. They are taking on Natalie Kim and Scotland Reynolds, who are serving in the light blue top of the screen as you look at it at the moment. We are set to go. Again, rally scoring, so buckle up. Semifinal action underway here at the TowneBank College Cup. And that dropped in for the first point of the match to Virginia. So 1-0. And the serve switch to Scotland Reynolds. UVA, of course, Joe, is the defending Duper national champion. As that trickles off the tape and good. So 1 apiece.
Yeah, as far as the Duper National Championship final, we've got both of them in our semifinals here with UVA and UNC over on Court 1 taking on Clemson.
And a phenomenal shot there from Gaze. Three serving 1 here. Virginia Tech with the early advantage. And that floats long. Virginia Tech, Joe, off to the strong start.
And these two ladies had a really easy matchup, if you will, relatively to the score. 21-9 was the score in their women's doubles match in the quarterfinals against Randolph-Macon. So be interested to see if they get tested, how they will respond, because they were not in the quarters.
And that zipped wide by Scotland Reynolds. Both of these schools, as you'd expect, have a boisterous cheering section.
Great rally between all 4 ladies, getting a touch in that point, and the Wahoos coming out on top.
Virginia now serving again. That's Reynolds.
That's really good placement by Hoffman, putting it on the sideline there, making it tough for the backhand, especially when you're in transition. Your feet aren't set the way you want them to be. A lot of times it just leads to a short shot, and that time Reynolds having no problem giving up that moment and saying, great shot. Know I got beat, might as well call it out.
Now 8-3 for Virginia Tech. And again, UVA, largest club in collegiate pickleball, representing exceptionally well. This is the elite tournament version of their team. Great angle that time by Reynolds.
And I'm glad that those that are here to cheer on UVA got behind the team after that point, because they needed something else. They need a little bit of extra push here.
4-8. Here come the Who's, and a little help from the tape as well. So 5-8, Virginia trailing, but with the serve. You also notice in the rally scoring that you don't switch sides as you do in traditional scoring pickleball. 5-1, Joe. really like that idea because I'm okay on the left side and terrible on the right.
Yeah, that is kind of a nice thing about it. That if you were more dominant in one way, you're not going to see stacking, right? You're not going to see that type of strategy because you don't need it. You're going to pick the side that you're really good at and stay there.
9-5, Virginia Tech serving. This is Gazet. Excellent read and leave by Scotland Reynolds.
It was, and it was excellent by everybody doing what the strategy book tells you to do in those moments. If you're back, you want to lob it up, give yourself a chance to come in. If you're at the kitchen line, you want to keep them back.
10-6, Virginia Tech serving. Should they prevail on this point, we'll switch ends at 11. And we will. A miscommunication through the middle by Kim and Reynolds. And Virginia Tech in the women's double, the opening match of the second semifinal, will take an 11-6 advantage on the end change. We'll take our first time out. This is the TowneBank College Cup. Women's doubles getting our action started here at Performance Pickleball RVA.
My stuff is no more than 36.
They give you the freedom to move without pain. I worry about how warm or cool to dress on trail, but I don't worry about my feet anymore. I put my arch supports in and forget about it. I'm Deidre Haven, and this is still my Good Feet story.
You too can get back out there with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
The entire day, but Good thing Ben Davis is here, he'll be our red hat and let the players know when it's time to go.
Got a fantastic battle going over on court one as well. North Carolina leading Clemson, but just 11-10 at the changeover there.
I've been really impressed with Clemson today. They only brought 4 players, but they've got a lot of power behind their paddle, making it really tough for teams to get comfortable at the kitchen line.
8-11 Virginia with that serve and make it 9-11. So closing the gap, 9-11. Kim and Reynolds on a little surge here for the Hoos, and you can hear the cheering and the roars. It's almost been like being at a golf tournament where they come from different courts throughout the day.
Yeah.
And that was a big point won there by Virginia Tech as the lead was slipping away to some degree, 12-9.
Yeah, the makeup of today's atmosphere is way different than our usual tournaments here and really anywhere else. I love it. I love bringing the college atmosphere to pickleball.
And another big point one there. We saw excellent lobs in both directions, Joe.
Yeah, smart point. You can start to see as we get further along in this match why these are the teams that are here at the end of the day. They're just so sound on the fundamentals.
Virginia Tech team, of course, was started by our good friend Derek Crage, who is also running this tournament today. But Derek graduating and coming over to our side of the world, they have really not missed a beat. And you'll see that on the men's side here momentarily. And back and forth we go.
Excellent. People love the rallies in women's pickleball, and this is no different.
9-14. Hit an out ball there, unfortunately, did Julia Hoffman.
Well, we've seen Hoffman be really good at hitting the line on those shots, but when you play that close to it, sometimes you fall away. That time went out.
10-14. By far in this match. won by UVA, and the streak of exultation, of course, because that could be a tide turner, 11-14.
Absolutely, yeah. An endurance winner is just as big as a lofty serve or a big bang across the net. That's a huge point.
Gaze smirking as she let that go. Right as she swiveled, she realized it was going to be in. 12-14. Again, first to 21, have to win on your serve. For every point until 20, scored on every single point. And another critical point, and you have to admire Virginia Tech's tenacity, Joe, because there have been moments in this match where it seems like, okay, the tide's turning, and they get that big point serve back at 15-12.
Yeah, they definitely have the ability to weather the storm of UVA right now, but you don't want to play too close to the vest and keep them around.
Same can be said for UVA and not falling too far behind. Show of patience, and Reynolds was the more patient to a one-point match.
That's so difficult not to go after if you're Gaze in that sweet zone. Oh, it's a really unfortunate way for that to end.
15-14 for Virginia Tech. And we're square, 15 apiece. So here comes that surge, and this is where the Hokies, Virginia Tech, have dug in their heels a bit and been able to get the serve back and the point that comes with it. And we're going to have a timeout, I think, because this is the first time that UVA has been able to pull even since very early in the match. We'll take the timeout as well. We're back in 1 minute. It's the TowneBank College Cup. It's the semifinals right here in Richmond.
You know, in my lifetime, I've been knocked around a few times. No matter how many times you get knocked down, hell, you got to get up off the turf. Back pain, knee pain, you name it, I had it. But when I walked into the Good Feet store and got fitted for arch support, I feel so much better. Very little pain in my back. I feel no pain in my knee. It is nothing like it. No matter who you are, whatever position you hold, in some way, we can help somebody. And that's what the Good Feet store does. They help you keep going with life.
Two here at Performance Pickleball RVA, Virginia Tech, Virginia. Women's doubles kick-starting this semifinal and even up at 15 apiece. Reynolds puts it in play on the serve. Did not catch line. 16-15 Virginia Tech. And man, that was a gutsy take there by Julia Hoffman.
It was, and those two haven't really been involved. It's been Gaze and Reynolds for the last however many points you can think of. So the fact they come out of a timeout and go to the other way, it was interesting to see how it played out.
Reynolds swinging away. Gaze mishit that, but it still worked out.
The beauty of this game is you're really never out of it. Even if you think you hit up a hard, really bad shot, the net can still be your friend.
17-15. And now 17-16 for Virginia Tech. Other way, as you see it on the scoreboard there. Now, and misfire from Kim.
Fantastic points, keeping that ball up as long as they did on the rally.
17-18 the score. Kim with the excellent slow roll. And big fire there from Scotland Reynolds. Kim with those forehand rolls set up the elevated shots, and Reynolds seized advantage in the point.
That's a shot that tends to be one of the difference makers as far as your next level of pickleball skill set. If you can do the forehand roll, you're going to win a lot more matches.
19-17 UVA. Rally scoring really is fast and furious. 19-18.
It's 11-5 when they switch, John.
We're trying to keep up. Gaze Hoffman, 18. Kim Reynolds, 19. That is wide, and the Hokie fans erupt as you see them over there, corner top of your screen. 19 all. Place is going to go bananas one way or the other in a moment. Oh, what a point. Hokies on the precipice of victory in women's doubles. 2019 for Virginia Tech.
There were 2 or 3 shots, I swear, were not going to go over the net. And super impressive.
Yeah, Kim just battling to stick around in that point. And now UVA, as Tech has the serve, can win this match, but just as rapidly if Virginia wins this point. Still very much in the air, and a timeout taken. We're going to keep it here. You see the conversation. There's Derek Crage right there, who will join us on the broadcast a little bit later on when we get to the championship match. Again, the founder, previous captain of Virginia Tech.
Looks like the women's doubles of Clemson and UNC has completed, so we'll get that score when we can.
Yeah, and we just did. North Carolina won that match 22-20, so
whoa,
just as hotly contested over on court 1. So Carolina has a 1-0 match lead in semifinal 1. Julia Hoffman. We're not done yet.
Exactly what needed to be done if you're Reynolds and Kim to keep Virginia Tech back. Your chances of them getting it back across the net from that deep at the baseline is really slim.
20 off the serve from Kim. 21-20, and as I just said a moment ago, we were far from done. Reverse the scenario. Now Tech needs to win this point, or it's UVA who claims the game 1. Patiently waiting. Apiece. You could just see Scotland Reynolds there for Virginia just chomping at the bit to get involved.
Yes.
And Julia Hoffman would not allow her to do so. Gaze serves at 21 apiece. Phenomenal shot. Better get from Kim. 22-21. That was one of those subtle, brilliant shots right there from Natalie Kim.
And that's what's going to be needed in a game, in a match like this that's so hotly contested. It's going to be the fine points, the finer points that win.
22-22. We're hoping for a dream breaker at the end of one of these matches. We may get it, the version of one here in game 1. Oh, 23-22 Virginia.
Yeah, Hoffman with that backhand or paddle was just a little bit out of place, so it made it a little bit easier for Reynolds.
That's it. Virginia claims women's doubles 24-22. What a sizzling start we've got to our semifinal round here at Performance Pickleball RVA. The face says it all right there from Scotland Reynolds. That was a battle. The Who's take it. 1-0 men's doubles on deck. Carolina up 1-0 as well on Skechers Stadium Court 1. What a fantastic matchups we have here today at the TowneBank College Cup. Back in a moment to Performance Pickleball RVA.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
Drove about an hour just to check it out. It's an awesome indoor facility, a really good place for, it seems like all levels can jump in and play.
Looks great, lots of people, bubbling with activity, lots of fun.
The surface is really good, everything, I love it.
One-stop shop, right? We got the bar, we got the restaurant, we got the weights, we got a ping pong table. I mean, you got showers. I mean, you come here, you can spend a day here and not get bored. It's just a great experience.
North Carolina in our first semifinal. They won women's doubles. They have a 1-0 lead. Taking a look at men's doubles at the moment. And on deck here on Stadium Court 2, which is center court for the College Cup presented by TowneBank. We are about to have the matchup of Cody Miller and Zach Gladstone for Virginia Tech against Connor Burns and Keegan McBride for Virginia. And again, all these players know each other exceptionally well. They're all very friendly. It's the same type of camaraderie within pickleball on the collegiate level. As I mentioned Derek Crage a number of times when we formulated this event, and he said, I'll reach out to the other captains, and that's exactly what happened. Derek got in touch with them, probably by text or however he was able to do so, and they committed to the tournament, and here they are. And then you could just see that, Joe, walking around all of these teams, for the most part, not all of them, but a vast majority of them, very familiar with one another. They play a lot of the same events, and camaraderie, I'd say, even amongst the competitors.
Yeah, and I think that's also why you see some really close games and matches, too, because they are so aware of the strengths and weaknesses of their opponents, that they can exploit that or attack that and maybe even make some adjustments along the way because they're used to playing either with one of those opponents in a different type of tournament or, of course, in this situation against them. So I don't think this particular match is going to be any different than the first one. I think we're going to go late, and we're going to be really close the whole way.
So here we go with Virginia to serve first. That was Keegan McBride with the serve for Virginia. And Virginia Tech will score the first point. That is Cody Miller. That will serve first for Virginia Tech, leading 1-0. That's Miller serving. Gladstone by his side. Ready to pounce on that Gladstone. 2-0 Virginia Tech.
Right away we see the men's game being so much different than the women's. Instead of going to a long cross-court dink rally, okay, 2 of those, we're done. Let's start speeding this thing up.
Miller there tapping himself on the chest and saying, was that going to be out? Which is probably the most asked question in pickleball during the course of competition. Now 3-1 Virginia Tech. 3-1 for Virginia Tech, Miller and Gladstone. Again, they kind of had to retool this team with the graduation of Crage, but they haven't missed a beat. This was a team that, at their first taste of national competition last year, up over 100 members now in Blacksburg. They've got some newly minted courts as you see Gladstone fly in there, get himself involved.
Gladstone's picking on McBride a little bit here, catching him in transition twice, and now catching him with the body bag as well.
4-1 Hokies at the moment. And that one Connor Burns would want back. 5-1 for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and it's really tough because if you've been around today and you see Burns and McBride play, they need energy. They need emotion to help themselves along the way, and their play right now is not helping them.
Connor Burns' parents are here. They're delightful people. Been hanging out with them throughout the course of the day as they've been tracking their son's success. First ATP is a successful one.
I haven't seen one all day. I've been on every court today. That's the first one I've seen. Excellent.
6-1 Virginia Tech. Way to run here. Make it 7-1. A little tight maybe from Virginia. I've been watching them play throughout the day, and it has been a much higher level than, granted, a very small sample size thus far here.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting back to earlier, was that emotion's not here right now. They're playing a little too tight and tense, and reality is you're not going to come back from 8-1 in a magical point. You're going to have to string some together, just like their teammates, Kim and Reynolds, did. They were down 11-6 at the break and came back to win 24-22 in match one.
Well, there's a starting point if they are going to come back. 8-2 serve back to Virginia. It is a little more difficult, I believe, in rally scoring to come back because every mistake you make is a point the other direction. So the lead kind of stays and grows a little bit more. Foot fault. And that's what I've been hearing. There hasn't been a lot of refed matches, foot fault against Tech. So 8-3, 8-3, 8-4. So here comes that comeback. Haven't been a lot of matches refed, and when matches aren't refed like Ben Davis is officiating this match for us, you don't get a lot of foot faults called. And it's not something I don't think that the college players have been forced to be as mindful as their professional counterparts. Tried the poach. That was long. Burns pleading that it caught line.
Ooh.
I didn't have the best look, but it did look out.
Oh,
because I watched it live.
He said it was in.
Oh, wow. He was right.
Wow. Yeah, the tape is right on that line from where we're sitting, so it's hard to see.
That's out as well. So 8-6. Here come the Who's. Off the serve of Keegan McBride.
Switch to his left hand.
Phenomenal angle taken by Cody Miller, 9-6. Mentioned UVA is the largest collegiate pickleball club in the country and certainly on the forefront of sponsorship. NIL, they have an official footwear deal with Head. They also have a paddle sponsorship as well. Put away cleanly for 10-6 for Tech. Virginia Tech is also sponsored. You'll see the Performance Pickleball crest on the sleeve right there. It's on the left sleeve. We sponsor Virginia Tech with our relationship with Derek Craves. That's where that started. Those jerseys were actually created by Whale Hook, which is official branding partner of Performance Pickleball. So both schools well represented with sponsorship, and 11-6 on that. Will switch ends with Virginia Tech having the advantage. We'll keep it here and update you on what's happening over on Court 1. Carolina, who won the women's doubles, albeit by a slim margin, 22-20. They are up 14-10, and just coming out of a timeout there as Carolina takes on Clemson in our first semifinal.
John, we've been here already today. 11-6 VT at the break over UVA. So I'm sure if McBride and Burns go over and talk to their teammates like, well, hey, look at us. We've already done this. 11-6 is nothing. You guys got it.
11-6, Virginia Tech with the serve. Miller. Tremendous get by Burns, but that floats long. Cody Burns somehow dug out what should have been a winner through the middle there, but Tech nonetheless earns the point. 12-6. Oh, tremendous inside-out forehand from McBride.
Yeah, that was a beauty. That's starting to look a little bit like those other pros that use the Pro XR, Zane Naberto and Riley Newman.
12-7, Virginia Tech. Banging away, getting nowhere. And eventually, it seemed like an inevitable outcome to that point, but give Virginia credit on that point. Make them hit one more shot. In that case, made them hit four more, and Tech was able to execute them all.
That point is called say it with your chest.
Misfire on the backhand drop attempt
but not that one.
Cody Miller, 8-13. Virginia with the serve. McBride. Great roll there off the backhand by Miller. Well, Ben Johns going to bring that up because we had the younger sister of the Johns brothers, Georgia Johns, representing Maryland. They advanced to the quarterfinals, and that was an awesome match against this UVA team. Appreciate the Terps traveling down to Richmond to take part. 9-14. Huge match here. UVA won women's doubles. Virginia Tech with the advantage now at 15-9, trying to level the ledger in the larger match.
You've mentioned some terms that are said a lot in professional pickleball broadcast and tournaments, and I think that's what's so great for this sport and scary for the competition is these kids here in college, they already know how to do some things that even pros today are trying to add to their tool bag.
And of course, Connor Schick last year representing North Carolina and now doing big things professionally. Burns kind of sold out there on the partial Ernie. McBride had the opportunity, and it was a little juicier, I think, than he was expecting.
Yeah, I believe so. And you could kind of see that he pushed it more than he brought it down when he hit where he hit the ball. The placement just wasn't quite there. It's super frustrating to go that deep into a point and not get it.
Yeah, that was going nowhere, but zipped right down the middle by Miller. And you can see Burns knew it the second he left it. It left his paddle. 17-10 for the Hokies, trying to level this match. Their in-state rival. And the body bag for Gladstone for the second time. 18-10 and a timeout taken by Virginia. Well, another part of this, of course, will be if, let's say, Virginia Tech wins this. Okay, we're at one apiece. The matchups in mixed doubles. It's much like tennis used to be where you might stack it with your best one direction or the other, try to get that point. The home team, which is Virginia Tech, because of the 2 seed here against the 3 seed, makes that distinction first in this matchup. But as you watch this, of course, we haven't seen either of the pairings yet in the mixed doubles in this match. But that was so closely contested on the women's side. Somewhat decided advantage in this game to Virginia Tech. What have you seen thus far overall in terms of if Tech prevails in this game, who would you have with the edge going to mixed doubles? I know that's a big question for you.
Well, it is a big question because I don't know who they're going to choose. If I was choosing, if I was on UVA's side, I would lean toward Burns and Reynolds. I do know that they have played together before. Of course, they've all played together at some point, but I just feel like those two have had the least amount of mistakes, and maybe that's as simple as you can make it when it comes to choosing those mixed partners.
Well, UVA wants to get there 2-0, and at 11-18, and it'll be 19-11. North Carolina, by the way, quick update, they won men's doubles as well. So the Heels do have the 2-0 lead on the Clemson Tigers in our first semifinal. The winner of that faces the winner of this for the College Cup. And Tech, 20-11, a tongue wag and a fist pump for Zach Gladstone. 20-11, Gladstone. Twenty to 12. Miller got a little too eager there. NBA not ready to concede. Match 2 just yet.
Well, and you got one of you guys is going to keep playing at least one more time, so certainly no need to give in here.
Now the serve comes back. Again, you got to win on your serve despite rally scoring, so that doesn't end the game there. Serve it out, and it will be the serve of Zach Gladstone. in the chin. Obviously, that was unintentional, but effective nonetheless. Bring it back to UVA. 14-20.
This is the beauty of the freeze. If you're down, you can still chip away.
Headstone on the return. His father, Brandon, is nervously watching on from just to our right. He's hiding. You can see him over beyond the plants. He's
Just
a great
barely.
guy.
He is hiding.
Chatting with him throughout the day. He's an avid pickleballer himself. He's talking about a lot of questions about the facilities, thinking about building some courts at their house in Northern Virginia. Getting a clarification from referee Ben Davis to Cody Miller.
UVA called it out.
Virginia called it out. Virginia Tech protesting, and the official holding up the call. So 15-20 is the proper score. Virginia with the serve. Great surge there from Connor Burns. Inside-out forehand to close the deal to 16-20.
We saw that interaction there with the referee. You mentioned it earlier, not many matches get officiated. So at the end of the day, regardless of the protest or not, it's still good to get an explanation so that next time they're in a match with referees, they're a little more comfortable with certain situations.
Another opportunity for Tech to close it out at 2016. Gladstone will see that one later. 2017.
Yeah, that's a juicy one, man. That's you can see the end of the match right there.
And a phenomenal take in communication there. You couldn't see it, viewing it, or hear it, but Gladstone told Miller to pull back there. Third opportunity to try to close it out. And that was back, and Virginia Tech evens it up. Women's doubles to the Who's, men's doubles to the Hokies. What would you expect with the Commonwealth Clash inside the TowneBank College Cup in semifinal number 2? North Carolina up 2-0 in semifinal number 1. We come back for the first of our 2 mixed doubles games within the semifinal match. It is the first ever TowneBank College Cup. You see it on the Performance Pickleball RVA YouTube channel.
I have no idea what I would do without Neighbor Force. This is my mother, and she's been using Neighbor Force for about 5 years.
About 5 years, yes.
And it has been a lifesaver.
Hey, pickleballers, do you have aging parents or know people that do? Well, Neighbor Force could be the answer if you need just a little bit of extra help. No contracts, 1 hour minimum. We are definitely the people to call. Or are you looking to get involved in your community? Being a neighbor at Neighbor Force could be the answer. We would not conflict with your pickleball matches. You can work whenever you want. It's almost like volunteering with a paycheck.
Neighbor Force is the bomb.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
Warm-ups for mixed doubles game 1 of 2, game 3 of 4 in the overall match. They've been split. Virginia took women's doubles. Virginia Tech responded in men's doubles, so 1-1 heading to mixed doubles game 1. And let's look at this matchup here because it's going to be Connor Burns and Scotland Reynolds for UVA against Cody Miller and Julia Hoffman for Virginia Tech. Derek Crage just came over. I said, who has the edge? I have no idea. It's evenly matched, as has this match been to this point.
Yep.
So we're getting everything we wanted and then some here in semifinal number 2.
Honestly, based on what we've seen here tonight, I would have the same response. And I know I said I would have Reynolds and Burns together. I would also choose Miller, but I don't know if I would have been able to pick the female partner as quickly, but it makes sense with Hoffman being used to playing on that right side with Gaze, as she did a bang-up job being over there in the women's doubles matchup. So I think this is, on paper, a wash. But obviously at the end of this, someone's going to move on to either the next game, a fourth game, or on their way to being maybe a dream breaker at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, we do know because of this matchup selection that game 4, mixed doubles game 2, will then be Gaze and Gladstone against McBride and Kim. So if we split these two mixed doubles, then we'd be to the dream breaker scenario. So you make a very good point, Joe. But yeah, obviously these captains have probably a preconceived notion of if this happens, we're going to do this. These are the teams that have been playing the best together. All of these clubs practice a lot. They all have more members than their tournament teams. But this is the best of the best right now for Virginia Tech. UVA has another team that's competing elsewhere this weekend as well that's had so much national success. And you see the depth of that Virginia team as well, still being able to get here, be in the semifinals, and give everyone a battle. And what everyone else is enjoying is a show. These Skechers Stadium courts, this is what they were built for, of course, ringed with fans as Carolina Clemson continues over on court 1 as well. So there we go. Scotland Reynolds starts us in mixed 1. And a misfire from Miller.
Yeah, for us, what we saw in the previous match, I think Miller's backhand is super dangerous, and the fact that 2 of those have gone in the net, not great for Virginia Tech.
So quick 2-0 lead for Virginia. And Reynolds feeling that adrenaline maybe a little bit. So I will have to say Scotland Reynolds is an exceptionally nice young woman. She made history today and didn't know it here at Performance Pickleball RVA. Well, maybe she did know it, but I knew it. She ordered and bought the first ever smoothie. Long-awaited smoothie lineup here. And now she's playing some tremendous pickleball. But, first ever smoothie, so we appreciate it.
Yes, we do. I didn't even know it was a thing when I walked in today.
It wasn't.
Great addition. Oh, okay. So at least I wasn't completely out of the loop.
We weren't sure we were going to be able to get it going as UVA has the early 4-1 lead here. But Sam Catron, Stephen Reiner, our outstanding kitchen bar manager and chef extraordinaire, getting that going, and 4-2 as Connor Burns reaching across there.
It took her a little while in that first matchup, but eventually Reynolds dominated and was really a big spotlight in that first one. So maybe the smoothie has an extra effect in a positive way.
I believe it does. And you see that on the roll, kind of semi-drive. Reynolds didn't think it was coming over and lost sight of it. So 3-4 for Virginia Tech, serving Cody Miller. Tried that same roll effect on the drive, and that's what happens when you get on top of it.
It's really interesting kind of complexion of this game versus the others. A lot more into the net, a lot more long than we've seen so far.
5-4. No roll on that.
No, better check the ball for a big dent after that one. Holy cow.
5-4. We are using the DuraFast yellow ball in this TowneBank College Cup. And Burns giving it the same treatment for the 6-4 lead.
And hat tip to Hoffman for being able to take care of it twice and get that back across the net. That's really tough for anybody.
7-4, Burns liking the last sequence of points here for Virginia, and I have to say I agree.
That's the danger of anything near the middle with Miller and Burns, is they can reach so far and poach and make you think or not be prepared for the shot they're going to bring back your way.
And an overreach from Miller there, 8-4 for Virginia.
And then there's the other side of that coin where if you're Miller or Burns, you think you can get everything, and sometimes it doesn't come off the paddle the way you'd like.
Seen that hatchet approach from Miller. That's a tennis stroke that's difficult to execute in pickleball. And Burns will see that one tonight if the outcome doesn't go the way the Who's are hoping. 5-9. Virginia Tech serving, trailing here, game 3. First elongated dink rally.
It's a smart strategy by the ladies.
Both guys cheating middle. And Reynolds wins out on that dink rally, 10-5.
We've seen the men go head-to-head, toe-to-toe, and who can come out that way. Now we see the ladies do it their style, and UVA with the point.
Oh, what a shot by Connor Burns. The hip pocket inside out to 11-5, and the end change. UVA struck first in the semifinal. Hokies answered in game 2. It's the Who's off to the strong start in game 3. We'll step aside briefly. Right back to the TowneBank College Cup.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
Skechers Pickleball, a proud venue sponsor of our Skechers Stadium courts. We exclusively vend Skechers here. I'm wearing Skechers right now. Joe has a pair, but chose the dressier shoe today for the broadcast. But we thank Skechers. I think Tim White and our friends from Skechers may be tuning in tonight. They've got some big-time stuff happening in the next few weeks in terms of pickleball. 11-5, the advantage for Virginia. Critical juncture of this game. Oh, no. Oh, wow.
What a get.
What a get, but floats wide. There's another incredible get during that sequence by Reynolds as well, but Tech not denied, 6-11. And Reynolds didn't step over. Burns was a little out of position on the follow-through.
Yeah, and that's tough if you're Reynolds because Burns is going to play the middle and has been playing heavy to the middle the whole time, so you assume your partner's going to be where he has been 95% of the time.
7-11, and basically the same scenario, other direction, 12-7. I believe that Hoffman thought Miller was going to step over and take that.
Every previous point would make you feel that way.
Hoffman, you can see a very sly sorry to Miller.
Yeah.
She knew it when she hit it. 13-7 for UVA.
The difference in her game and mine is I say sorry a lot. I think she said it once.
Not as much as you should, quite frankly.
Well, there's too many lobs where I almost killed my partner. So.
And an excellent take. You're right. It would get a little redundant. Same for both of us. 8-13. I said critical juncture in this game because this is that stretch where Tech can play themselves back into the game or UVA makes a little run and suddenly you're really feeling the heat. Trying to get it off of Burns and could never really do it. Got it off for one shot, but right back Connor gets involved and wins it to a 14-8 lead.
I was really interested in the hesitation of Tech to move in after a really good lob from Hoffman. They didn't rush the kitchen very quickly. I don't know if that led to the result of the point or not, but didn't help.
Oh, what a swing on the backhand from Miller, and Burns into a forced backpedal retreat. 9-14.
That is Ben Johns-esque. The way you said that earlier, not just because of the Yola paddle, but that backhand looks Very, very similar.
Well, in court one, Carolina with a 15-14 lead. Should they win mixed doubles game one, that match is over in favor of the Heels.
Really impressed by the strategy. I believe it is a strategy by UVA and really Tech at sometimes. They know the guys are shading middle, so work the ball to the outside and try to catch them with the ball going behind their back.
Long on the return from Cody Miller. He was looking back at the baseline. That serve from Burns caught line, 16-9. And Burns, he didn't give you the whole bag of tricks, but just about all of them.
Just about. That was phenomenal all the way around. Good get by Miller on the baseline, and to make it a drop in the kitchen, so hard to do. But at the end, it was too much Burns.
Tech had to have that point and got it, as Burns, a rare mistake in this match. He has been playing some very strong pickleball. 10-17, and a timeout is going to be taken by Virginia Tech. I think that Cody Miller realizes it's now or never here in mixed doubles game one. Overall game three. Again, we're square at a game apiece. Virginia won game one. Virginia Tech took game two. We will stay here. Jon Laaser, Joe Hutzler. Crowd swelling across from us and also in the bar area. That's Joe T right there. He's obligated to be here, but the rest of the folks are here. Joe T's become a big pickleball fan. Joe Tarnowski, who's our outstanding director of facilities here at Performance Pickleball. May not noticed we switched the placement from our previous broadcast from court one to court two, and that was primarily, Joe, so you and I can be much, much closer to the bar, which we are.
Yes, it was a very wise decision, not for just us, but for those of you listening, as we're a little bit looser than usual. No, but in all seriousness, it is playing into a more full background for what has become a historic event, the third largest collegiate tournament ever.
How about
in
that?
Pickleball's history.
Origin story. One night I just texted Derek Crage, I don't remember why, and I said, we should do a college event, and he said, I got you. He did the rest.
He did the rest.
18-10.
He's done a great job.
He has, along with intercollegiate pickleball as well. My man Ben from Wisconsin Whitewater on site. Virginia closing in on a game three win here. The tape unkind there for Scotland Reynolds. 11-18. Saw Virginia mount a comeback that fell short in men's doubles. You could hear the partner communication there. Scotland Reynolds was saying me, and Burns said no, me, and then missed it and said you.
That's an appropriate response.
Heat of the moment. Humor remains. And Tech
gotta have
hanging
that.
in there too, 13-18.
You got to have some humor. You have to have some self-deprecation too. Good entertainment for your partner sometimes.
Oh, what a poach. And Miller coming to life along with the Hokies.
I've seen a lot of that from Burns, not so much from Miller. I like that he jumped in there that time to catch him off guard. Don't let UVA settle into a rhythm, especially considering their advantage right now.
14-18. Look out. 14-19.
Yeah, that's when you just turn your tail and tuck when you see that ball coming down from Burns' paddle.
Yeah, especially with that long, rangy build. And duck and cover. 19-14, Virginia. Miller able to bring the serve back. 15-19. Again, we saw it come into play in game two, where not being able to win without it being on your serve allowed Virginia to get back in there. It's kind of the table tennis aspect to it. The attempted Ernie from Burns backfires, 16-19.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the try. Certainly in that moment, you want to put on a highlight show, but don't miss those too often. It's a 3-point lead.
Phenomenal anticipation there from Miller. And couldn't quite clip him. I believe he thought he caught the jersey of Burns, and he's asking Ben Davis, our lead referee, if it did. The answer is no. Did not catch the threading.
Yeah, I don't know how you can see that.
As close as a thread. 2016 UVA. Opportunity to win game 3. Will wait, 17-20. And you see Cody Miller apologizing because that nearly caught a piece of his men's partner, Zach Gladstone's father.
There's a lot behind that. Some frustration from the previous point, perhaps.
A lot of laughter over there. Misfired, but again, the game not over. As UVA will have a second opportunity now to close out game 3. 20-17 on the serve. Not this time.
Excellent anticipation by Miller. He has gone into another gear here at the end, trying to will this win, this comeback win for Virginia Tech.
18-20.
Great job.
Was so very close to catching the line. 19-20. We went to 24-22 in women's doubles. And we're going to go to 20-20 in mixed doubles. So again, that serve factor does come in at the tail end of this game. 20-20.
I said it would be just as close as every other match, but there for a while it didn't look like it would be.
That was a tight shot there from Cody Miller, though. Another opportunity for Virginia to close it out. 21-20 on the serve. That's long, 21-21. You can just see the adrenaline off the body language from Miller. A sly smile as he steps in to serve at 21 apiece.
Can't get over how good this pickleball is.
Oh, what a shot from Scotland Reynolds. 22-21. The Who's their fourth game point here.
This is like a heavyweight battle, man. One haymaker after another. Love it.
And that'll do it. Virginia takes mixed doubles game 1 and hold a 2-1 lead in our first to 3 semifinal. Mixed doubles game 2 coming up. Tech will be trying to force the Dream Breaker. Virginia will be trying to advance to our championship match. Carolina and Clemson still battling over on court 1. We'll get you an update on that match when we come back from this timeout. This is the TowneBank College Cup. Collegiate Pickleball has come to the RVA. Clemson won game 1.
Of mixed.
best and the brightest from the professional ranks coming out to celebrate the opening of Performance Pickleball RVA back on the 20th of December. You saw the Newmans, Jay DeVilliers, Judith Castillo, our own Jonathan Medina Alvarez. Man, that feels like a lifetime ago. It wasn't even 2 months.
We were thinking the same thing right there.
And on that very same court where you just saw those festivities taking place, we've got North Carolina Clemson, a clash in the ACC as we have here. Clemson dropped the first 2 games, or I should say Carolina took the first 2 games, but Clemson clawed their way back. The Tigers did to take mixed doubles game 1. That is mixed doubles game 2 right there. Same scenario. Clemson will be trying to force the Dream Breaker. It's the near ATP from the heels. Trying to force the Dream Breaker, while Carolina, second opportunity to try to win that game and advance to the championship match. So, back over here, let's take a look back at some of the action. It has been amazing for a 2-1 lead for Virginia as our outstanding crew from VPM assembled these highlights from mixed doubles game 1 that we'll take back a look at, Joe. And that was really evenly matched, as we're about to see. There were highlight plays from both sides. But really, I thought of the 4, Connor Burns and the aide to Scotland Reynolds were the rightful winners of that game. I felt like they played just a skosh better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They were up 11-5 at the break. Hard to believe that, considering that we went to extras, if you will, beyond 21 points for both teams. But you can see how tight each of those points that were won, how tight they were. You can only imagine how tight the entire match was. But I agree, UVA, those 2, they should have won in terms of how the game was transpiring. They were in control. So now it's up to Tech, right? Now it's for them and Gladstone and Gaze to find that extra piece that allowed them to be so successful. Gaze, for her part, with Hoffman, they were successful early, couldn't finish in that women's doubles, but Gladstone and Miller, they were able to take care of business in the men's doubles side. So, again, when you look at paper, when you look at what we've seen so far today, it's really hard to come away and say definitively, oh, this is the team that's going to win. And honestly, it's what you'd expect. A 2 and 3 seed, Tech and UVA, this is what we want.
Absolutely. Commonwealth Clash, as we refer to it here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And it has been every bit as spirited as many other competitions I've seen between the 2 institutions. Saw Tech playing North Carolina in basketball today. Virginia scored a victory over Wake Forest. So, again, we've got Gladstone and Nilium Gaze for Virginia Tech. You see them with their backs to you in the orange. That's Gaze bouncing on her feet and ready to return the serve from Natalie Kim and Keegan McBride. And an excellent little delicate inside-out placement from Zach Gladstone.
What's crazy is that previous mixed final score was only half of what UVA and Wake Forest basketball was. Neither one of those teams scored more than 50 points in that game. So traditional defensive game for sure.
I need to see. One apiece for Virginia. Oh, and a swinging backhand with 2 hands from Natalie Kim. Yeah, you see a lot of these players, of course, from the tennis background. You see that big backhand on the female side quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And Gladstone's part, he somehow just didn't recognize the speed that the ball was coming off. He was there, just swung a little too early.
3-1 advantage, UVA, and McBride on the put away.
Yeah, it's a tough spot if you're Gaze. It's the only spot you can really go to is to go across court, and, of course, then that opens up that entire left half of the court.
3-1 off the serve of McBride. 3-2. And again, the swings are just so much quicker in rally scoring. This is really my first taste of it live today. I got to say, I like it quite a bit.
Yes, pickleball is kind of a game of runs anyway, but they tend to come a little bit slower in traditional scoring, but not in rally, man. This feels like we're flying through. And, I mean, by the end of this, we're going to be through 4 games in about 45 minutes.
4 games to 21. Excellent deceptive angle there from Gaze. Mentioned that paddle sponsorship, the NIL agreement, extending to pickleball. UVA, Pro XR, pickleball. Partnership will ensure that all their players have the newest technology. What a defense from Gladstone that turned into offense In the blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye, man. Hey, you mentioned NIL. Maybe Scotland Reynolds can get an NIL deal with the smoothies here. We brought it up a few times, and she did create history, right? So
yeah, we got to sell a few more before we start sponsoring.
That's true. That's before it becomes the Scotland Reynolds smoothie, right? Instead of the smooth operator.
6-5 for Virginia is our score. 6-5, and now 6-all. Again, just moving so fast. And also these teams, they have to wait for the official to say the score, but that's not slowing them down much. These younger players, they like to play fast. Let's go, let's go. We have gone to 6-6.
This is the closest we've been at 6-6 in the first half of a game. And to this point, at the switch, somebody's been up 11-5 or 11-6 every time.
7-6, Virginia leading. 7-6, Virginia. Slice backhand. Airmailed by Gladstone. We'll check in on that score here. Getting louder and louder. Here's that Carolina-Clemson match over on the other side. Gladstone protesting that deep call, but we did have a good look at that one. That was clearly out. 7-6 UVA. Our crew had it right all along. How dare I second guess Craig Keaton and his sensational crew from VPM with us as they always are.
It's good teamwork amongst everybody, trying to listen in. And
I bought Ben Davis the microphone you see him wearing, the headset. It's $22 on Amazon.
Well, sometimes things...
Well, it's working.
It's working, but you can't anticipate the crowd that's here tonight.
Well, and it's going to get louder and louder when we bring the crowd on court 1 here over to court 2. 7-8, Virginia Tech serving. 7-9. And again, this middle portion of the game, so critical. We saw UVA seize on that in mixed doubles game 1. 9-7, Keegan McBride. Heavy topspin serve to the baseline. Oh, Kim, you can see the grimace as she hit it. She got exactly what she wanted, and sometimes it's the last thing you need.
I don't know if it directly correlates, but we've seen more balls into the net, more balls deep. This is the 4th game. Somebody could be going home.
The Matrix from McBride. He doesn't know that movie. He's too young, but he just
he's seen some memes
Keanu Reeves impression there.
He probably knows at least that scene.
It's an element of gravitational contortion is what it is. 1-point match. We're on the verge of switching ends here. 9-10 for Gladstone. And Kim, hard angle. Harder spin, and UVA will take the lead to the end change. 11-9 Virginia. Again, it's Cavaliers to the championship match. It's a dream breaker if Tech can come from behind and take this second mixed doubles game. We determined that outcome on the other side of this timeout. This is collegiate pickleball at the TowneBank College Cup from Fantastic Performance Pickleball RVA.
You know, in my lifetime, I've been knocked around a few times. No matter how many times you get knocked down, hell, you got to get up off the turf. Back pain, knee pain, you name it, I had it. But when I walked into the Good Feet store and got fitted for arch support, I feel so much better. Very little pain in my back. I feel no pain in my knee. It is nothing like it. No matter who you are, whatever position you hold, in some way, we can help somebody. That's what the Good Feet store does. They help you keep going in life.
Jon Laaser, Joe Hutzler, TowneBank College Cup. A huge thank you to TowneBank for being interested in elevating the collegiate game of pickleball. UVA, pickleball has been doing that since their inception. They're up 11-9. And 10. That one barely stayed under 18.5 foot roof here at performance.
This is right at 18 feet, I think.
And all square at 11 now. That one just nipped the outside of the line. It was an unintentional drop there from Gladstone.
Yeah, it was an interesting decision to try to go straight across instead of cross court.
Meanwhile, it looks as though Carolina has wrapped it up on court 1. They had a heavy lead in mixed doubles game 2. It would appear the winner will take on Carolina for the College Cup. And UVA has a 2-point advantage, 13-11.
Yeah, it's a lot of heavy swinging from Kim. We're going to keep seeing that if they keep putting it in that sweet spot of her wheelhouse. Hard to return.
Just wide. As you saw Keegan McBride hunting the corner there. 12-13. This team's physical fitness certainly becoming a factor, too. This has been a long day of pickleball. Played 5 pool matches to advance to the quarters. And Gladstone can't believe that. He got exactly what he wanted, but got his feet tied up a little bit. Crossing the court. 14-12 for Virginia.
Form is not always something you think about in those moments, but it is something to practice, the way that you go up and come down, especially with that follow-through. Didn't work out for Gladstone.
But the speed up does work out for Gladstone. 13-14. Virginia Tech earns the serve back. Actually, they just updated the score. The two teams were checking with each other. Our crew was once again right the first time, 14-14. And just off a very tip-top of the paddle. Just enough to slide that one down for Gladstone, 15-14.
Doesn't have to sound good to be good. Just enough to get it over. And sometimes it provides a speed change as well, that you can mess up your opponent.
Dropped in, an opportunity for Kim.
Wow, come on with that spin.
What are we calling that? The reverse corkscrew hatchet spin. I'm inventing a name for it from Gladstone. He's the first in history to do it. 16-14 for the Hokies.
It might not fit on a shirt, but I still like it.
We'll make it a logo. 17-14. And again, the building right now seems like they're cheering for Virginia Tech. The crowd is split pretty evenly. They're actually cheering for the Dream Breaker because Virginia Tech, with a win in this game, as UVA takes a timeout, would force that Dream Breaker scenario. And I think everybody just wants to see that play out, particularly in this matchup of collegiate rivals, the Commonwealth Clash. Timeout taken by Virginia. And Zach Gladstone looking over here, smiling. We've seen a couple of them do like the NFL players do when they're about to run in for a touchdown and they look up on the big Jumbotron, and that's because we've got the live stream match right behind us.
Smart on their part to look at their surroundings. And honestly, I've seen it in other tournaments where players will actually pull out their phone and go back in the broadcast to see what recently happened. So similarly happening here.
So the score is 16-14. Virginia Tech with the lead. Ben Davis just re-racking. Ben Davis, our lead referee. Gaze tried to play him back into the point, and Kim says no. Inside out, down the outside alley.
I really like Kim's game. She's very, very confident in that kitchen area. Forehand or backhand, doesn't matter.
Deep corner return. There came Kim again, and it's 16-all.
Does a great job of putting like a tiny little extra step before she hits those balls. Very similar to tennis, putting a little bit more oomph on that than usual.
And she's got more forceful in her attack at the net. What an angle!
It's the pads
and
ball.
McBride says good shot. Looks like the pad's okay. We won't add that to Keegan's tab here today. 17-16. Uh-oh. 17-all. Shot before leads to the easy finish for McBride. 17 apiece. Again, UVA up 2-1. They win this game. They're on to the championship round to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. And again, the communication. You could audibly hear it. Gladstone telling Gaze to let it go. 18-17. Virginia Tech with the lead. Tech on the retreat.
Yeah. We've seen it a lot in this match between Gaze and Gladstone, constantly playing near the baseline, it seems. UVA doing a fantastic job keeping them there.
18-18. Oh, and the tape will help Gladstone. He had the elevation he needed anyway, and you saw the roll combined with the tape just made that a devilish spin for McBride to try to deal with. 19-18. Gladstone just got a little bit too fast. Because he mishit the drive, he got saved by Kim, but never recovered mentally. 19-19.
Definitely feels like he needed that fast momentum to keep things rolling in his favor.
19-19. Oh, ATP off the tip, and Gaze, the shake of the fist to game point. What a get, what a shot.
I posed the question, does Tech and UVA thing really apply at the club sport level? I think we have our answer.
Yes, it does. Game point. Yep. And that drive from Gaze, 20 apiece. And we've seen the seemingly
so many shots that you shouldn't be taking.
Yeah.
But you just want to keep it in play at this point.
UVA, McBride to serve to the championship match. Oh, hit an out ball.
Yes, he did.
Hit an out ball. It would have taken the Who's to the championship match.
And that's where that previous point, everyone just hitting something that's close to them, comes back to bite you.
21 all. And the changeup serve from Gladstone. Gladstone took over, got exactly what he wanted, and misfired.
That's tough. That's the type of player you are. That's tough to pull back.
Match point number 2 for Virginia. From Miriam Gaze.
I gotta say, I'm really impressed. When she's asked to step in, she does a great job of finishing. Gladstone is all over the court, but Gaze can certainly hold her own.
22 all. Kim firing away. Trying to hit him out, and both missed. Match point number 3.
He sure did. I was like, oh, not again.
And I think Gaze hit an out ball to send it back in their direction. Pure adrenaline. Match point number 3. That's out. 23 all. We had 24-22 in the women's doubles start to the semifinal. And Tech's going to take a timeout here. This is the third time they've gotten it back with the opportunity to reverse roles as to who had the advantage. They've been unsuccessful in the previous 2. They want to talk it over, give themselves a moment.
Well, I got to say, we said this earlier about these matches and games going deep. Maybe a dream breaker on the line. We kind of had a couple, and it feels like the way this thing has been intensified, I should say, but certainly not pulling for either side, and really you can't. It's 23 all. It's as even as you can make it, and what I love is that things aren't being decided on poor mistakes, poor shot choices, bad strategies. All 4 of these players are giving their all, but also staying focused on what's needed to be done and keep that ball in play. Really, really excellent pickleball.
23-23. A reminder for our viewers, rally scoring, but you have to win on your serve and win by 2. Gladstone taking over, and that time executing. Seen 3 match points go wanting for the Cavaliers. First one for the Hokies to force a dream breaker. Little high on the drop. And McBride makes him pay. 24 all.
Yeah, just in a weird position. Gladstone usually taking it. Didn't get it this time. Gaze wasn't ready. She was kind of blocked by her teammate.
And right back the other way we come to the second game point for Virginia Tech to force the Dream Breaker. 25-24. And that serve was long from Gladstone and just a cardinal sin in that spot, 25-all.
You almost wanted to go back to that change-up, that slow one, just get it in the square.
Game point number 4, again, not successfully converted by Virginia. Game point number 4 for Virginia Tech.
That's what we've been waiting for. We're getting it right here. The two teams in the Commonwealth Clash that always give it their all against one another, and we're going to see it go all the way to the end. What more could you ask for, man? This is fantastic.
Women's doubles goes to the Who's. Men's doubles to the Hokies. Mixed doubles 1 to the Who's. Mixed doubles 2 back to the Hokies. We head to the Dream Breaker. Joe lays out exactly what that entails after this 2-minute timeout. North Carolina awaits the winner of the Commonwealth Clash. That winner will face the Heels for the College Cup. All still to come from Performance Pickleball RVA.
In just 6 short months, we created this. Look around. It's awesome.
This is a new era for the Regency, and I want to thank the residents here, the people who are here, because you did it. You made this happen.
Performance Pickleball RVA now belongs to you, the pickleball community.
Was made, which formed a family that embarked on a journey. Their path was uncertain. Their determination was not. Today, they reach that destination. Paradise. Welcome to Performance Pickleball RVA.
You ask and you watch sports, or in our case commentate on it for years, you want the dream outcome. Well, we got it literally inside of Performance Pickleball RVA. Jon Laaser, Joe Hutzler. We've got Virginia Tech, and we've got a Dream Breaker. And Joe, for the casual pickleball fan that may be experiencing college pickleball for the first time, take our viewers through what the Dream Breaker is, what the strategy is behind it, and what needs to be accomplished to meet North Carolina in the championship match.
Well, it's very nice way of sudden death. We're changing the name here. Dreams being broken is the impetus behind it. But what we're going to see is we're going to see singles play for the first time all day long. We haven't had a Dream Breaker scenario yet today. So now we're going to go from all doubles, women's, men's, mixed, down to singles. Mano-a-mano, one-on-one.
And we were finally able to break that run for Tech to 11-5. But Gaze got the best of that cycle, 3-1. And we cycle back to the top for Cody Miller and Connor Burns. This was split the first time.
That was still really important. I know, as you mentioned, it shouldn't necessarily carry over, but it can. And right there, 2 in a row for UVA. They definitely needed that.
6-11. Burns firing up the troops, 7-11. So a little mini splurge here for Virginia as well. 3 points in a row. Back to 7-11. Oh, what a topspin corner find for Burns, 8-11.
I mean, Miller's response is all you can do. You have to appreciate a beautiful shot like that.
Yes, it was. So regardless of the outcome of this point, Burns has provided what Virginia needed, which was a tilt back in their favor by taking the first 3 points. 8-11. But Miller provides what the Hokies needed, what's the stabilizing point. 12-8. Julia Hoffman bouncing onto the court, as does Natalie Kim. Pace does not diminish in the Dream Breaker, that is for certain.
These two split first time around as well.
13-8. Hoffman claims the first point. A lot of reverence. Nice shots back and forth between the two teams. Oh, missed wide on the serve, did Hoffman. 9-13. Oh, beautiful finish on the backhand cross. Volley. 14-9 for Virginia Tech. Again, first to 21. Have to win by 2. Must win on your serve. 14-9, the serve from Julia Hoffman. Oh, that's too good. 10-14.
That deserved a little extra stare down that Kim gave as well. That was right on.
And Tech still with the advantage, and here is Gladstone. He claimed all 4 points, which is what gave Virginia Tech this advantage in the first place. And now he's got all 5 as McBride airmailed that, and even in the tension of the moment, having poke a fun at himself.
That's what I would do too. I mean,
he looked at his team and said, "Was that in?"
I don't think UVA's baseball team needs any extra help, but maybe.
Gladstone now 6-0, matched up with McBride in singles, 16-10. That is the difference. If you're doing the math in the match, 7-0, 17-10. So everything else, not every cycle has been a draw, but the rest of the team have basically split. (18-10), 8-0. Zach Gladstone against
what?
McBride.
We knew we hadn't seen anybody play singles yet, but Gladstone, you can tell, is in his element playing singles, and he has some of that in doubles too. The way he covers the court, barely breaking a sweat here in the Dream Breaker.
Winner to face Carolina, the championship match, and Scotland Reynolds earns point 1 here against William Gaze. And remember, Gaze got the first 3, Reynolds got the last one, so the last 2 for her. It was the shot prior to that, little loose from Scotland Reynolds, and Gaze took advantage. 19-11.
It is one of those sports where it's not always the shot that you finish with. It was the previous one that leads to the result.
And that one was wide from Gaze. 1 more point between these two women. 12-19. Both players staying back. Gaze didn't know what to do. 13-19. I'm a little bit surprised. Gaze had multiple opportunities to come to the net during that rally and did not seize upon them. So Cody Miller back for Tech. Connor Burns for Virginia. 13 serving 19. Oh, great shot by Burns. Backhand pass down the line. 14-19. even in the games in which it looked like Virginia or Virginia Tech was going to pull away, run away and hide, it hasn't happened.
No, definitely. Neither one of these teams have given in to the moment saying, well, we might as well just warm up the bus. They've continued to fight. That's why we have such a great match.
But indecision there from Burns. He had the line again, chose to try to come cross court. It leads to match point. And finally, is cutting over. It's the Hokies on to the championship round to meet North Carolina. All the way to the Dream Breaker, but it's Hokie high here in Richmond. Virginia Tech will advance, waiting in the wings. The North Carolina Tar Heels, it's an all-ACC shootout. It's a rematch from basketball's win today down in the Dean Dome for North Carolina. All of it's the TowneBank College Cup. We're going to take a little longer break here while we re-rack. Players will have a rest period here, and we will meet the North Carolina Tar Heels when we come back. Don't go anywhere. The championship round of the TowneBank College Cup is coming up next from Performance Pickleball RVA.
I have no idea what I would do without Neighbor Force. This is my mother, and she's been using Neighbor Force for about 5 years.
About 5 years, yes.
And it has been a lifesaver.
Hey pickleballers, do you have aging parents or know people that do? Well, Neighbor Force could be the answer if you need just a little bit of extra help. No contracts, 1 hour minimum. We are definitely the people to call. Or are you looking to get involved in your community? Being a neighbor at Neighbor Force could be the answer. We would not conflict with your pickleball matches. You can work whenever you want. It's almost like volunteering with a paycheck.
Neighbor Force is the bomb.
Was made, which formed a family that embarked on a journey. Their path was uncertain. Their determination was not. Today, they reach that destination. Paradise. Welcome to Performance Pickleball RVA.
In just 6 short months, we created this. Look around. It's awesome.
This is a new era for the Regency, and I want to thank the residents here and the people who are here because you did it. You made this happen.
Performance Pickleball RVA now belongs to you, the pickleball community.
I did a Good Feet commercial about 4 years ago, and I thought maybe I should check in with you. Yeah, I'm still wearing my Good Feet arch supports. They give you the freedom to move without pain. I worry about how warm or to dress on trail, but I don't worry about my feet anymore. I put my arch supports in and forget about it. I'm Deidre Haven, and this is still my Good Feet story.
You too can get back out there with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous Relaxed Fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
Better way to dispute things is the way that we decide decision making. But we are just about set to go. And in our women's match, which will get us started, we're going to see Sarah Carpenter and Kayla Nesbitt for North Carolina. They were the top overall seed coming into this tournament. They played that way, undefeated through pool play, and of course won their quarterfinal match over Maryland, and then just dispatched Clemson as the Tigers. Really strong play today, but just was able to converse with them as they were getting on the longest road trip of anybody back to campus in South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina. Virginia Tech bests UVA in a dream breaker from a physical exertion standpoint. Clearly the Hokies have exerted a little bit more, as North Carolina did not need that dream breaker scenario in semifinal 1. But at this stage, at their age, with the adrenaline flowing as we play for the TowneBank College Cup, I'm not sure that's going to be a factor.
Yeah, I don't know that the physicality part, like you said, the age means much, but perhaps regardless of your age, mentally, if things start to get a little bit testy, will Virginia Tech be able to find what they could against the Cavaliers to inch their way, I should say, back into a match if they're down? I think one thing that would be key for really both teams, but especially for the Hokies, you just went through the most intense type of match that you can go through at this level, all the way to the dream breaker, not to mention that every doubles match went beyond 21 with the exception of one. So a lot of mental fortitude needed, a lot of that mentality and kind of being drained a little bit. So let's play loose. Let's not get too worked up over this. We don't want to basically exert all of the great energy we had on the semifinals and then fall short here in the finals. If you're UNC, things have been going great. Things have been going according to plan for a team and a school that was in the national championship final just last year. So for them, it's business as usual until otherwise needed.
Well, we talked extensively about Virginia Tech replacing their captain and having to replace their top player in Derek Crage, who is again here doing a tremendous job coordinating this tournament for us. And you can still tell very much pulling for his friends and former teammates with Virginia Tech. Well, Carolina is the epitome of that, having to replace Colin Schick, of course, their top player, now really making a name for himself in the pro game, doing exactly what college sports is supposed to do if you have professional aspirations, providing that platform you were just discussing. But Carolina really hasn't missed a beat without him. They add Stephen Deminy to this lineup. You're going to see Deminy and Hunter Boyd on the men's side for North Carolina, and they always say big shoes to fill, and that was really the case for both of these teams. But what we've seen now from the players that have stepped in, Gladstone for Virginia Tech and Deminy from North Carolina, they're comfortable on this stage. They're comfortable in these high leverage games, and that's what we expect to see in this championship match as well.
I'll add to that the beauty of this sport allows them to be comfortable on these stages, because it wasn't like these, Deminy and Gladstone were just sitting on the bench waiting in the wings. They're playing too. They're at these events. They know what the atmosphere is like, and they're paying attention to what their leaders did in those moments and taking a little bit of what they learned from them and also their own personalities to lead these teams to the finals today.
But we get the women's doubles first, as is the format. So Kayla Nesbitt, you just saw serve for North Carolina. Her partner Sarah Carpenter, as Carolina strikes first for a 1-0 lead. This Virginia Tech tandem of Nilium Gaze and Julia Hoffman played exceptionally well in all of the mediums, but did fall short in women's doubles to UVA. And Carolina off to a 2-0 start.
Yeah, for Virginia Tech, you can make some mistakes, but you don't want to make too many early and allow that to pile on. And then that's when I'm kind of tired. Some of those shots I was making in the semifinals, the fatigue setting in. that those thoughts start to creep in and have more credence than they should.
Another point this time to Virginia Tech for the first time in the match. Serving 1-2. Again, we were really marveling at Gaze's ability to stay in the moment. That time, a little loose from Hoffman and put down harshly by Sarah Carpenter. Her serve leading 3-1 for the Heels. Ernie was defensed, the underthrow by Gaze, and Nesbitt laughing. You see her walking right into our camera shot there. I kind of got caught red-handed.
Yeah, sure did. And Gaze, to our previous points about her being very stable, she was able to fend that off, no problem.
And a beautiful roll from Carpenter there.
Yeah, a bit unorthodox from what you would normally see with the paddle being so far out to your side, but it did put some roll on that ball, made it tough to return.
4-2 the score. Carpenter with another put away. She had a handful already, 5-2 for North Carolina. Carolina won women's and men's doubles over Clemson. Clemson was able to force a game 4 by winning mixed doubles 1, but ultimately succumbed in mixed doubles 2. Nesbitt, can already tell, has a wonderful personality, even on her mishits, such as that one. 3-4.
I feel like in doubles across the board, if you have partners and one is a little bit more like that and the other is more, I say, focused or serious, those teams tend to do really well. They build off of each other. They feed off of one another in different ways. So we'll see if that partnership is fortuitous again.
Virginia Tech drawing even and now taking their first lead. Check that, 5-5. So Virginia Tech now drawing even at 5-5.
Putting those atlases to the test. Two paddles coming together, but coming away with the point.
And the paddle brand of Mike Fotopoulos, who's top players here locally in Richmond. Sponsorship deals with Derek Crage and some of the Virginia Tech players. A foot fault called on Julia Hoffman there. And bring it back to Carolina. We were discussing that during the semifinal round.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take, considering that you don't hear that throughout the day because they're not being officiated. But at the same time, the players can't be expected to see the feet when they're trying to follow the ball too. So tough one to take and hard to argue because you can't see your feet, so you have to go with what the official said.
Yep, so 6-all. Now 7-6 for Carolina. And the fun part about this is both of these schools had more than one team here. Carolina had 3. Virginia Tech had the most with 5. So a lot of their teammates, overall teammates, have stuck around, of course, to show support. Swinging away on both sides. Gaze got the best of Nesbitt to 7-all.
Naturally, that ball on those hard speed ups is going to start to go down, and unfortunately, Nesbitt was on the very end of that ladder.
Tough pick for Gaze. Hoffman tried to bail her out, and Carpenter says no.
She's so good at sitting right there on that and has great power to put it straight down. Doesn't have to worry about it maybe going long. Phenomenal paddle placement for Carpenter.
7. Overswing
Case
from
in point.
Gaze.
Yep, Gaze with the exact opposite issue as far as the placement and pushed it long.
9-7 for Carolina. Game 1, championship match. Miscommunication in the middle, 10-7 for the Heels. North Carolina playing Tech in basketball today. North Carolina prevailing number 3 team in the country at home. Dean Smith Center, a lot of Hokie and Heel fans were taking that in on the screens at Kitchen RVA here. Carpenter did step in, and Mike Spooner quickly overrules the call. Ben Davis does.
Yeah, Mike was jumping the gun a little bit. She did touch the kitchen line, but the ball was in the kitchen, so she was allowed to do that.
Yep, 10-7. 5-speed cross, which is not generally advisable, but works out this time for Carolina, and they will take the lead on the end change. We'll take a timeout. Championship match game 1. North Carolina women with a slight lead over the Virginia Tech women as we decide who takes the TowneBank College Cup back to campus with them from Performance Pickleball RVA.
I did a Good Feet commercial about 4 years ago, and I thought maybe I should check in with you. Yeah, I'm still wearing my Good Feet arch supports. They give you the freedom to move without pain. I worry about how warm or cool to dress on trail, but I don't worry about my feet anymore. I put my arch supports in and forget about it. I'm Deidre Haven, and this
12-8 for the Heels, and score correction there in the changeover. Serving 12-8, Kayla Nesbitt.
That was the right decision by Gaza. I know she missed it, but she was able to pull Carpenter to the middle, try to go behind her. Just got to put that in play next time.
Oh, Carpenter, so impressed. She's definitely that left side player, and she knows when it's her time to take over. 13-8.
I do like that about Carpenter and Nesbitt, that together they clearly know what their roles are, and they let that play out. We've seen it a couple times. Gaze and Hoffman look at each other like, who is supposed to get that? You don't see that with the Tar Heels.
That's going to fall in. Gaze has to desperately flick it back across, and made him hit one more shot, and Nesbitt didn't execute. 14-9 as Tech has the serve back. Would have been an out ball. That is an out ball. So Carolina had the advantage from the jump in this game. They've managed to hang on to it.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Even when a ball that, a play that should go against you still comes your way, that's one reason why you've got the lead you do.
Now it is 15-9. 15-9 for the Heels. Again, trying to jump out to an advantage. They really haven't trailed at any point today. It's not that they haven't had competitive matches, dropped a couple games, but they have played like the number 1 seed thus far. Long day of pickleball for both of these two teams, of course. Virginia Tech advanced as the number 2 seed, unbeaten out of their pool. Look away, middle pass from Carpenter.
Yeah, that deserves all the hoopla that she's getting from her teammates after that slide to the left and then put it back down to the middle.
16 serving 9. A little help from the tape. The Hokies needed it and got it. 10-16. You can just see in the body language, Hoffman a little bit maybe lacking in energy at the moment after that long battle through the Dreambreaker.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you had to worry about if you're a Hokie fan is, okay, if things don't go our way, how are we going to respond? And unfortunately, that level of stress and fatigue is starting to play a big part.
A rifle backhand pass to the corner for Nesbitt. Well, it's interesting. I had a conversation briefly with Brandon Gladstone, the father of Zach Gladstone, is really the difference in that Dream Breaker. And he said, that's what Zach loves to do. Play singles. He's a singles guy. He has a focus on it, and it really showed up in that Dream Breaker.
It sure did, and you could tell even in the doubles play, which we'll see here next when the men's doubles teams are on the court. Carpenter's it well.
Laughing at herself. She tried to lob it, wound up just popping it up, and the most surprised was Gaze, and because of that, couldn't put away the juicy one. 18-10 for Carolina. Gaze can put away that one.
Yeah, got to when they get to that point. She's had a couple miss hits, so good to feel that hit the paddle the right way and get the point for the Hokies.
And we'll take a timeout. We will keep it here, but the teams will take a timeout. A reminder as to how we got here. North Carolina defeated Clemson in semifinal 1 in 4 games. Virginia Tech, as you look at Hoffman and Gaze there, were certainly critical pieces in the Tech win over Virginia. Tech over UVA in the Dream Breaker, but they also came back after losing in women's doubles to Virginia to both heavily participate and propel Virginia Tech to a needed Game 4 win, mixed doubles Game 2, to force that Dream Breaker. That was Gaze, who really, I thought, hit the shot of that match, the ATP off the tape. Just a moment to thank a number of people. You can't put it on an event of this size without a whole lot of help, and that is true. We thank TowneBank. Angie Collins and I got together on this, and they really wanted to come aboard and be a part of advancing college pickleball. We can't thank them enough for their sponsorship, and really what that allowed us to do was bring you this broadcast. So straight on appreciation for those of you that are watching for TowneBank. Derek Crage for putting it together in Scholastic Pickleball, of course. 11-18, Gaze to serve. Hmm. 19-11, so Carolina. (19-11). Sarah Carpenter asking for clarification on the score and receiving it. And a point away now for the Heels from a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it really feels like a whole other level right now for UNC. They've tapped into something special and trying to put this thing away fairly early compared to what we've used to see here on the broadcast.
Second swing at it. Nets the first point in our championship match. Carolina too much for Tech in women's doubles, 21-11 as the top seeds strutting their stuff. Men's doubles up next. A long way to go to award the TowneBank College Cup. You've hung with us all day. Come back with us as we continue to ramp it up inside Performance Pickleball RVA.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
Women's doubles goes to North Carolina as the Heels notch the first point here in our first to three formats as we get set for men's doubles. Now, you know the two Hokies because they were our feature match in the semifinal round, but for those that weren't tuned in, Cody Miller, Zach Gladstone, hey everybody, championship match between the Hokies and the Heels. But for Carolina, Hunter Boyd and Stephen Demeny. And as we get underway, Virginia Tech will strike the first blow as Tech grabs a quick 1-0 lead. And that, as you know, is Cody Miller serving. That is Hunter Boyd in the backwards white hat. And I immediately like him because that's how I like to wear my headgear when I play.
Yes, it is. No matter who you're supporting, he's
I like that it's coming back, man. We made that fashionable in the 90s. Cycling back around. So that went a little wide, so 1-1 to start here.
I find I make that choice depending on my mood.
Yeah, that's true.
As well.
Yeah, that's right. If you're not feeling it on the court,
or the environment, or if I'm taking pictures as opposed to video. When you lift that camera up to your eye, the bill of the hat gets in the way.
Ernie defensed wonderfully. But Boyd able to get back in position briefly for Carolina. And Virginia Tech won the point anyway.
That's such a great rally. It's you hate that someone had to lose it. Phenomenal all the way around.
And a loose drive from Cody Miller. Four-3 is the score. 4-3. And now 4-4. And again, it was this pair for Virginia Tech that steadied the Hokies as a whole. It was a fiercely contested women's doubles round against Virginia. 22-20 they were defeated. But then Gladstone and Miller the better of it. Look at a blindside open-hand pass from Demeny, and that's how you replace a guy like Schick with shots like that.
And because we got to see Miller and Gladstone play already, didn't see Miller go straight across very often. He'd usually go cross-court on his backhand. So this time he changed it up, and Demeny said, "Thank you very much."
Gladstone let that pass, and it slid through the middle for Carolina. A couple points surge, and you hear the teammates you see assembled there for Carolina across. Cody went soft, anticipating that with Demeny.
So smart by Demeny.
Demeny's shot got an opportunity for Boyd, but he couldn't cash it in.
Smart and also high level of skill there to come charging at a ball and just softly put it in the back corner instead of sailing it wide.
5-5 is our score. That dropped in, and you can see Boyd is pouncing on these Ernie opportunities. The third time he's gone, the second time he's had success, 6-5 Heels.
And now if you're Gladstone and Miller, you have to plan for that. You've seen it a few times now, so what are we going to do to prevent that from happening? He's only taking it because we're putting ourselves in that position.
6-all. Saw excellent adjustments from Gladstone and Miller in the semifinal round. Demeny hangs his head. He can't believe that. And sometimes that just extra skip on the serve, I miss a ton of those because of that.
All of your opponents are going to note that now, John. You gave it away. Come after you now with the skip.
It's not really something that matters if they know or not. It's just that I'm just not very good. 7-7. And that was a beautiful little backhand roll there.
Yeah, smart.
Cody Miller, we've talked about it.
Yeah, so good, especially with Demeny being in that no man's land, that transition zone. A great placement for put the ball there.
That is long. Caught him in on the body. Tied up. That is ruled out. 9-7. That was a phenomenal pickup there from Miller that allowed Gladstone to tee off. 10-7 for Virginia Tech.
There it is. The adjustment from Gladstone to prevent the Ernie.
Backhand roll did not work that time for Cody Miller. 8-10. Next point. Tech would change ends. Carolina, midpoint switch. 2 back-to-back misfires on that signature spot and signature shot from Miller.
I thought they were going to pull it off with the switch.
And deep on the return, so a 3-point little mini sprint here for the Heels evens the score at 10-all. It's actually the Heels that forced the switch of ends with a 4-0 run. So 11-10 for North Carolina as we will change ends. The Heels took women's doubles. 1 point slight advantage in men's doubles. Quick timeout from the TowneBank College Cup.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
Jon Laaser, Joe Hutzler back with you inside Performance Pickleball RVA. Hunter Boyd there in that slick-looking backwards white hat in Carolina. They've made the drive up here from Chapel Hill, and they have acclimated well to this new Sterling indoor facility. They lead 11-10.
I'll say this, and it's not because of my affiliation with Performance, but walking around today, filming some of the action, heard a lot of these college players talking about how great this facility is, not just to be indoors, but to be indoors with a great surface, great lighting. Overall atmosphere has been phenomenal, and all the information, the TVs, things like that, the kitchen, they've never seen any place like it, and hopefully if you haven't, you will someday.
Saw Boyd able to stop mid-swing there on the instruction from his partner, Stephen Demeny. 12-11 Heels. Yeah, absolutely. That was very gratifying to hear that from these collegiate players. There's the more usual backhand roll from Cody Miller after he missed a couple. 12 apiece. Critical game here, obviously, but just get the feel like North Carolina were to win this game, it's going to be too long a road back for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and I really feel like Virginia Tech needs to find their footing again because they were up 10-6. Before the break and end up giving that away. So if they can find what they had in the beginning of the game or something like that, then things could change in their way.
Shot by Gladstone. Corner pocket. 13-13. Yeah, the roll over the swat. 14-13.
Gosh, like being a bug on a windshield, man, every time that backhand comes across the kitchen line.
14-13. 15-13. And again, there's that subtle skip on the serve there. Kind of ate Demeny up. Great placement right at the feet. Boyd nodding. Get himself going. 14-15. Well, the matchups have been as good as the talent level today. It's been tremendous. Miller just says, wow, to himself. How did you miss that?
How did that?
And 15 all.
Very fundamental moment go so awry.
That was a great return from Miller.
Nice job from Boyd to still get it over.
Gladstone wasn't sure if that was going to fall in, and that's the right thing to do if you don't know. You've got the kill shot, take it, 16-15.
Keep destiny in your hands.
I like that, Joe. Very profound.
The college kids, they're very at that age, right? Very moldable anyway. So
17-15. So are we. We've maintained that youthful enthusiasm. 17-15. Hokies trying to draw even in this match. Heels trying to take a commanding 2 games and on edge. 18-15. And as we saw against Virginia, when it was time to go, these guys went.
Yeah, for sure. And they're harking back to that now. They needed it. They gave up that 10-6 advantage, and here they are with the advantage. Their teammates happy with them, and see if they can close it out.
Well, you see, that's the Hokie huddle there, joined by our buddy and resident here at Performance Pickleball, Anj Bassan. He goes to VCU, trying to get a club team started at VCU is Anj. But in the meantime, he's just going to join the Hokies.
Why not?
They're all high level. All these high level players know each other, whether competing today or not. 18-15. That's what I've really enjoyed today is the cheering. The spectators. Not that there's not a vibrance to all the tournaments, but just again with the family and friends and teammates encouraging. There's shouts coming from every corner of Performance Pickleball.
And the encouraging to be encouraged. Sometimes you go to tournaments and you're like, hush, hush, don't make a lot of noise until a certain moment. But here, please, be loud, be boisterous. Love that about college sports in general, and it's no different with pickleball.
Just about to implore Miller to follow that slice drop. He didn't, but it didn't wind up mattering. 19-15. Great drive from Gladstone, 20-15, and Virginia Tech, really from what was an evenly balanced game, surged to the catbird seat. Reset from Miller. And that'll do it. Virginia Tech bounces back just like they did in the semifinal round as they bring us to 1-all in the championship match. Women go to the heels. Men go to the Hokies. We go to mixed doubles, square at 1. Nothing determined yet. This is the TowneBank College Cup.
About an hour just to check it out. It's an awesome indoor facility. Really good place for, it seems like all levels can jump in and play.
Looks great. Lots of people, bubbling with activity, lots of fun.
The surface is really good. Everything, I love it.
one-stop shop, right? We got the bar, we got the restaurant, we got the ways, we got a ping pong table. I mean, you got showers. I mean, you come here, you can spend a day here and not get bored. It's a great experience.
We had the Dream Breaker in the semifinal. Virginia Tech besting Virginia in that Dream Breaker. Carolina did not need it as they were triumphant over Clemson. 1-1. Women goes to the Heels. Men's goes to the Hokies. And now we go to mixed doubles. And not surprisingly, both sides are going to stay with the lineup that has gotten them here, as it will be Hunter Boyd and Kayla Nesbitt for North Carolina. And they will take on Cody Miller and Julia Hoffman for Virginia Tech. Now, this Hoffman-Miller team was actually defeated by Virginia, put the Hokies in a 2-1 hole in that instance. However, coming back out of that, Gladstone and Gaze were able to force that Dream Breaker. So we will see. Meanwhile, this Carolina duo was also the only duo to drop a game for Carolina in their semifinal.
Well, we do know. Okay, maybe I was wrong about
Carolina serving first and earned the first point. That was kind of a mistimed yell there from the Carolina fans.
Yeah.
And they knew it immediately and were apologetic about it, but it doesn't
not
get
all
the point back.
encouragement is encouraged. Timing is still important in college pickleball.
Hoffman unable to find the line on the ATP. So 2-0 quickly for North Carolina.
Yeah, we have seen Miller and Hoffman play together. We know Miller wants to come to the middle and push when he can.
A couple of elite defense. A couple of moments of elite defense from Hoffman, but too much from Hunter Boyd in the end.
Not always what you want if you're the female to straight across from the guy to be going in a speed-up battle, but she certainly held her own. Yeah, unfortunate Miller sliding that right foot after he touched it out of the air, foot fault, and point to the Tar Heels.
So rapidly 4-0 for the Tar Heels. That's what Virginia Tech needed, as Boyd, see kind of wincing right as he hit that. I think he wanted to go that direction but didn't commit the feet. And a little bit too much aim on that drive.
Yeah, something. It's almost like they're trying to hit the perfect shot when those moments arrive right now for the Hokies. And you're down 5-1, so perfection's not needed. Might have to make things a bit ugly to get back into it.
5-1 for Carolina. (5-2) for Carolina. And it's interesting. We still got a great crowd in attendance here, but all of these students need to get back to campus. So a lot of them, I could hear them saying, "Man, I wish we could stay and watch the championship," or had to drive back to, as I mentioned, Clemson and some other places.
Maryland, getting back to College Park. It's not a short trip.
Villanova, for that matter, to Philly.
Yeah. Charlotte was here today. 49ers were in attendance. 4-hour trip
really
back
cool
to the Queen City.
See all those teams make the trip down here, though. How about the run for Randolph-Macon, by the way? The only Division III team in the field. They made it to the quarterfinals. Great showing for Captain Luis Haney and company. They had a boisterous cheering section. Carolina off to the sturdy start here in mixed doubles.
Yeah, I was wondering if Miller was going to come back to the middle.
Overreach there from Miller, just out of his reach.
It's really tough because they're in the places they normally would be able to get it. He's shaking his head too. Like, I don't understand why they're hitting the net now. Normally they're getting over top.
So Carolina, again, a very strong start. Ever since that quick burst of enthusiasm, and then the Carolina teammates kind of being bashful from that point. Their team's up 10-2. We haven't heard a peep since Carolina, but also that seems to be working.
Yeah,
so.
the score is speaking for itself right now. Nothing else needed.
10-2. Oh, and Miller on the re-rack two-hand off the backhand. So we won't change ends just yet as Virginia Tech pulls back the serve, trailing 3-10.
Yeah, look long from here. Nesbitt called it out.
So now we will change ends. 11-3 for North Carolina, the top seed with the advantage in our championship match. Game 3, this match tied at a game apiece. Minute timeout, right back to Performance Pickleball RVA.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of every pickleball league.
PPB RVA, host site of the TowneBank College Cup, and in a few weeks, host site of the Duper Virginia Super Regional. Can't tell you how stoked I am for that event. Great friends with Duper. Of course, we'll be hosting that. Winner of this match will make it a trip to Duper Nationals because there's a bid on the line here today. Yeah, there's the Cody Miller backhand roll that we have become accustomed to. See if Virginia Tech can mount a comeback here in Game 3, down 4-11.
Sorry, I got a little bit nervous for the spectators. Of course, you don't think about wearing eye protection when you're a fan, but you might have to do that sometimes.
Some of the severe angles certainly putting those fans in peril. 12-4.
I'm a huge proponent of wearing it on the court, but tack on.
Yeah, actually, our own Jonathan Medina Alvarez gave me my very first pair of torch protective eyewear the other day. I haven't tried them out just yet, so I haven't played since. But they're sitting in my locker, and I'm eager to give them a whirl.
They might take a little bit, especially since you wear a hat. You're trying to figure out the right way to wear them, but definitely worth it. First time that a ball comes close to your face.
Oh, what an alley there, exploited by Nesbitt.
Yeah, we were saying it during the break that things just don't look as crisp for Virginia Tech. They look made a little bit gassed, and some of these quick decisions needed aren't coming across as quickly as they need them to be.
Yeah, we wondered, and it'll be interesting to ask afterwards the physical toll that the Dreambreaker, and not just the Dreambreaker, but 22-20 in Game 1, 27-25 in Game 4, then the Dreambreaker.
And everyone went through a Dreambreaker round at least twice. So there's 8 points there that you had to be a part of in singles play.
Great angle on that backhand cross from Boyd. Miller unsure what to do with it. 14-6 for Carolina. Top spin off the tape. That's lethal most of the time. It is here. 15-6. Wasn't a lot Miller could do 2 shots prior. Hoffman did everything she could to hang in there, but Boyd got too spicy a shot there.
And UNC not letting up at all, which is the right thing to do. Don't have sympathy for your opponent. You want to win this thing, put it away, even if they're the ones making the mistakes. Keep doing your game and don't let up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. UVA was unable to do that in the previous match. There was a couple of games that they had a stranglehold on, I thought, or could have with a couple more points scored, and didn't put Tech down, and ultimately they paid the price for that. And Hoffman caught Boyd leaning.
Everybody was wondering what happened on that. A little bit of a missed short circuit there.
7-17. The dink straight ahead to put it on Hoffman, and Boyd, you can see shaking his head. He didn't like the shot selection in hindsight.
As long as you foul that one away for a learning moment, you're up by this much, it's okay to take some chances here and there.
18-8. And a collision, a mild one, but a collision nonetheless between Nesbitt and Boyd.
Yeah, no communication until the end. From Miller backfires, as there to fire was Nesbitt. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's one where all the ladies in the room were like, "Get out of our way, man. We can cover our own court." At least that's how my fiance does it when we watch pickleball on TV. She's not a fan of the poach.
Heels could only hang in for so long there. Miller would not relent. 10-19. Again, able to secure the serve off that little backhand roll flick.
It's important to still have a big picture thought about this because there will be a fourth game. Your teammates need to feed off of something, so try to finish strong.
And again, it's been, I think, Gladstone who's been the steadiest player thus far for Virginia Tech. Great point there, Hoffman. A couple of sensational shots in that series.
Great job of continuing to keep it alive, first of all, and weather the storm. And Boyd he didn't have any more patience left in him.
12-20, though. And then you have to win on your serve. We've seen that come into play more than one occasion already since we went to the elimination format. Regardless, a tall hill to climb here. So now Carolina will have the opportunity to serve out game 3 here. Mm. 14.
Yeah, take those all day if you're Miller. As dunking on a little Tykes basketball hoop for him.
Boyd had everything he wanted.
Yes, he
let it slip away.
And big props to Hoffman, too, for continuing to stay staunch and steady, straight across. Keep that thing going.
15-20 right on the line on that return from Boyd. Uh-oh, he missed.
He's out, yeah.
Boyd's second opportunity to bring the serve back. And like I say, Hokies climbing back in there. 16-20. And Boyd was so sharp all the way up to this most recent stretch of points.
Yeah, and honestly, this is very similar to Boyd and Demony's match with Virginia Tech, and where they had a lead kind of late in that second half, but some things, they started to have some self-inflicted wounds. See if they can quit that now.
So timeout is taken. We will stay here, however, as you look across at Kitchen RVA, which is one of the unique aspects of Performance Pickleball RVA, first-class food and beverage operation inside what we feel is a world-class pickleball facility. Hey there, it has been an awesome day here at the TowneBank College Cup. Got a phenomenal semifinal between Virginia Tech and Virginia, and now this championship match, this game was maybe the most one-sided that we had seen through the semifinals and into this championship format, Joe. And then just when you thought it was safe to breathe, North Carolina, here come the Hokies back to 17-20 and forcing the timeout from Carolina.
Yeah, I think we wanted that first match, the semifinals, to live up to the rivalry that it was, UVA and Tech, and it did. Might be seeding us a new rivalry here with Tech and UNC, especially if the Hokies can perform this comeback.
And regardless of what happens, the timeout already effective just for that miss hit off the serve. And another opportunity for Carolina now. Serve it out. Yeah. Battle for Hoffman. Carolina got a slight scare there, but ultimately secures a game that they were the dramatically better team. So Carolina takes a 2-1 lead and are a game away from hoisting the TowneBank College Cup, but this was the exact scenario that faced Virginia Tech in the semifinals. Win to force the Dream Breaker. Still much to come in the championship match of the TowneBank College Cup.
Promise was made, which formed a family that embarked on a journey. Their path was uncertain. Their determination was not. Today, they reach that destination. Paradise. Welcome to Performance Pickleball RVA.
The first ever TowneBank College Cup. We've actually got the cup right here, Joe. Let's show people what they're planned for. And here we go, right here. This beautiful piece of hardware.
You've been working out, haven't
bid
you?
to nationals. I have not, you know that. But I appreciate you trying to let people think that. Right behind me there's that bid to Duper Nationals. We're giving one away to the champion today, 3 away in the Virginia Super Regional, which will take place March 23rd and 24th right here. Ecstatic for that field, ecstatic for the outcome of today as well. And ultimately, 4 teams will come right out of this building to that Duper National platform, which, of course, Virginia won a year ago. And it is worth pointing out, Virginia fell in the semifinals today without their top team. So kudos to Virginia Tech on the win, but Virginia still right there at that nationally elite status like the Tar Heels are and like this Tech team is aspiring to be. Now another chance for Carolina to win it all, but another opportunity for Zach Gladstone and Nilium Gaze to hold serve, as it were, and force another Dreambreaker scenario here in our championship match.
The two that I think are the most level-headed players on the court from what we've seen so far. We didn't get to see, unfortunately, a lot of UNC play earlier, but Gladstone, he's going to cover every little bit of the court, and Gaze, she's going to do her part at the top level. So I'll be interested to see how they handle things early on. I want to go back to something you mentioned about the bid today, the three that'll get a bid to nationals in this building. I think it's just a great chance to showcase what Performance Pickleball RVA has to offer for the next level of pickleballers, right, in this college world. And the fact that we're going to see 4 teams leave this building and go to nationals is pretty incredible for a place that's been open for a month and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, things are built on relationships, and a lot of this has been built on our relationship with Derek Crage and this Virginia Tech team. We've gotten to know so many of the other teams throughout the course of the registration process. So Sarah Carpenter playing alongside Stephen Demony. We mentioned the duo of Gaze and Gladstone for Tech. And there's Gaze. He's so sneaky right through the middle.
One thing important, I wrote this down after Miller and Hoffman went off, is obviously they were disappointed with how it ended, but could have been even more disappointed because they were down by a lot, and it ended up being 21-17. So they make sure that Gaze and Gladstone remember those positives towards the end, to try to feed some of that positivity from them, because it is, at the end of the game, end of the day, it is a team sport. So if they can do what they're doing now and keep it close or even take a lead early, that could go a long way.
Gaze with a couple strong shots to get this match started, but Carpenter the response right off the toes. 1-2. Carolina serving, make it 2-2, and
very
Gladstone with the universal pickleball response to something like that. What is wrong with my paddling?
Hey, a good craftsman never blames their tools. Come on now.
Then I must not be a good craftsman. Leaning in as far as he could across that line and doing so again for the impossible angle.
Oh, thank God it was empty.
Knocked that beer out of that gentleman's hand, and the ball winds up right here at my feet. Here you go, guys.
You always find your way into it.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
One of the most embarrassing moments I ever had was calling a Tech basketball game. The ball rolled right down under my feet. I didn't realize that it was there. One of the players came over. I thought he was trying to dap me up. He's like, no, give us the ball. I'm like, oh.
We need this.
That was a nationally televised game.
Oh, yeah. Well, you made it on TV.
Yeah.
There you go.
4-2, Virginia Tech trying to force the Dreambreaker. But a loose shot there from Gladstone.
What'll be interesting with this UNC pairing, Carpenter we saw in that women's matchup, 21-11 was the score of that one. And Carpenter was a stalwart as far as really kind of holding serve as the dominant player. And then when the men came around, it was a little bit of a struggle for Boyd and Benemy. So for Denemy, I'm just very intrigued by the way that this mentally will go for these two players.
Carpenter. Cross-angle smash, 5-4 for Virginia Tech. And, what's always interesting about mixed doubles is when the women's player, like in Carpenter's case, just dominant, as you were just outlining, from the left side. But on the right side here.
Good point.
And how well that translates. Thus far, just fine, 5-5. And then, of course, going back to this rally scoring, you don't switch sides at all. So on that right side, as is generally the case in mixed doubles.
That is a really good point because we saw a lot of her smashing balls with the right hand through the middle. Well, she's not going to get those opportunities in this particular way it's set up. So very, very studious point.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the forehand, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
You see the forehand there of Zach Gladstone. Six, Gaze. Heavy topspin serve. Gladstone trying to step in front to take the forehand. Yep, just cleaning up the fact that our Graphic still had Hunter Boyd on it because he played so sensationally. We thought they were going to let him play twice. But actually, Stephen Denemy. But regardless, Virginia Tech needs to claim this game to force the Dreambreaker. North Carolina a little slip there from Gaze, it looked like.
Yeah, and Gladstone was really close to her as well, so she was a little bit short on her swing. It's a tough position to be in. Your peripherals, no matter how much you're ready for it, someone coming at you like that can disrupt you.
8-8. Slick catch off that stray shot. Sideline by Hoffman. Just snared that leg.
No emotion either.
Yeah.
I got this. Big deal.
Excellent deep return from Gladstone and a pump of the fist. 8-9. Yeah, bad decision and bad execution that time from Gaze. Got to be soft with that shot.
Yeah, it's really tough sometimes in motion, but they're going to happen, though. Sometimes you're going to miss more than you make, so have to get over it pretty quickly.
And getting Carpenter involved, a mistake from Gladstone, and we'll change ends with Carolina with the 11-8 lead, the 2-1 edge, a game away. This could be that game from holding the first ever TowneBank College Cup. Step aside for 60 seconds from Pickleball Paradise. Championship match continues right after these.
Promise was made, which formed a family that embarked on a journey. Their path was uncertain. Their determination was not. Today, they reach that destination. Paradise. Welcome to Performance Pickleball RVA.
North Carolina trying to close in on the College Cup in the national bid from Duper. They lead 11-8, up 2-1. Gladstone and Gaze have been so tough in these spots, but nothing Gladstone could have done off that tape benefit. 12-8 for Carolina. Gladstone not to be denied. Had to find 3 different angles to ultimately put it on the toes of Carpenter.
That's what I was going to mention too. Demeny on his heels, still able to return one of those back.
Ooh, and a crossfire strike on Gaze. She'll shake that off. That certainly stung at close range for Nilium.
Yeah, it's in that neck clavicle area.
Excellent subtle angle there from Gladstone. 10-13.
Oh, wow.
A little punch the opposite way.
That's
from
really impressive to go from one corner to the other in stride.
Stephen Demeny. Again stepping in. Colin Schick moving on to the professional ranks. The depth of the returns has definitely increased from both sides here as this game has progressed.
It's not a part of the game that gets talked about a whole lot, but it can really hinge as far as the result goes on the deep returns. You force that opponent to stay back, and now you have the advantage because you can move to the kitchen.
15-11 for Carolina. 21 first, and now they're at 16. They're heading to Duper Nationals, and they're taking this cup with them back to Chapel Hill. Oh, that was a tremendous dig. Carpenter thought she had put that point to rest.
Yeah, great defense by Tech. Not giving in either, knowing how runs can be in rally scoring. There's no sense in just pulling back and getting ready to go back to Blacksburg.
16-12, but as we have seen a number of times, these games have had a tendency to tighten down the backstretch.
Oh, man.
Great hand-eye right there from Gladstone to change. The big swing on the first and second, tighter to the shoulder.
Very good adjustment all the way around. I like that Carpenter decided to go across court with her dink as well.
14-17. Gladstone punching that left fist. Oh, and Carpenter just tried to do too much with it. It was a little high on that reset from Gaze, but not high enough to attack on that angle.
Here we go.
Off the wrist and down with authority.
Yeah, that's a nice emphatic way to stop momentum if you're on UNC's side of things.
And the ball flying over top of us and out of play allowed Carolina an opportunity for the Tar Heels chant. Get a little late night life here.
Well timed.
Yeah, what a sneak attack there from Carpenter.
I wasn't even sure if she meant to do it. Her wrist kind of made a weird motion, like, I guess I'm going straight now.
Yeah, I think she caught Gladstone kind of dipping that right shoulder. 2 points away for the Tar Heels, 1 point away for the Tar Heels. 20-15. Championship point. And the kick is headed down Tobacco Road. The Tar Heels have defeated Virginia Tech. They are the first ever TowneBank College Cup champions.
Well earned overall, and a team that we expect to be at Nationals to begin with, but why not get it done a little early? Congratulations to UNC.
Congratulations indeed to UNC. Joe, I'm going to let you put the broadcast to bed. I am going to go award this cup to the Tar Heels, and as I mentioned, Tobacco Road, let them get on the road. But final thoughts from me. Thank you so much to our crew from VPM for allowing us to put together this broadcast and let people watch all the enthusiasm and excitement that was emanating from Pickleball Paradise today. Again, a huge thank you to Derek Crage, Ben, the co-coordinators of the tournament, our staff, of course, but most importantly, all the students and athletes that came to participate and all the spectators as well. High hopes for the day, exceeded every bit. And in every way, thank you to all. Joe's got you from here. Thanks to you as well, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you at the bar in a little bit. We'll wrap this thing up just by reminding you to follow Performance on social media, PPB RVA, YouTube right here as well. We would get to see highlights of today's action throughout the day. I was roaming the courts, getting some of the best stuff from all the teams, so they'll all have a little piece of the video pie there for sure. And as John said, thanks to everybody that helped put this on, and thanks to you for tuning in and supporting these athletes. We look forward to the next time the collegiate level will be in this building, March 23rd, for the Duper Super Regionals, the Virginia Super Regionals. 3 more teams will clinch their bid to the national championships. That's all I have. Oh, one more thing. If you're interested in pickleball podcasts, we've got one. Spotify and Apple. It's called The Stack. Tune in every Thursday. We got guests not just from this area, but from across the national landscape of pickleball. Enjoy the trophy ceremony right here on PPB RVA. Thank you again for tuning in.
Also, congratulations to all of our teams who have forced ferocious spirit and fight to the Virginia Tech Hokies. Let's hear it for them as well, battling all the way to the championship match, along with all of our teams that came and competed today. We say a huge thank you. We'll see you again in March. We hope the Duper